Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to PTM Racing TV. We are live here tonight at Watkins Glen, New York. Tonight, we will see the Rev Limit Racing drivers duke it out on this very tough-to-master road course. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Road Course Challenge Week for these drivers. But before we get to the action tonight, let's take a quick lap around Watkins Glen. So here at the Gold Bowling Watkins Glen track, this is going to be a unique track. There's 11 turns in this track, I believe. And one thing you're going to see right there immediately is those little signs right there, the 400 to 200 to 300 to 100. And what they're really going to be doing is they're going to try to take that turn really tight off the stretch. So watch for the drivers to brake early and quick. Gain a lot of momentum off the straight here. You're getting right down in third gear. You'll see the guys off the first turn go into second gear at the least, maybe first gear for some others. After they get into this little hairpin here, they're going to get the nice fourth gear going. Now the momentum will start to build as they work them on down the back stretch. And they're going to be watching for those signs. Probably about the 200s where you're going to see them backing off and hit the brakes. As you can see what I'm doing, gear down. Straighten the car out around these turns right here. Into the boot we go. A little carousel, if you will. As they bring them on around, they'll probably be in about second to third gear. As they come out of here, they'll start to shift up to fourth. Down the straightaway past the boot, and down the straightaway here, they'll go into this turn. You're going to see them get it right about here, and that's when they start wanting to brake. You'll see a lot of them go into third gear, if you will, hit the corner here, down here, and then slide right in, gear down one more time for a big finish. Unlike me, that was a terrible turn. And then down the front straightaway to the end. It is not an easy track to figure out, but it's a fast track, and when done right, it is a very fun track to watch. And currently we're just waiting for other drivers to get ready to go here, but we'll go ahead and park this one for the night. So we will now wait for the arrival of our drivers here tonight. The drivers right now are in qualifying. They are currently getting ready for position. They will be getting ready to run here. So while we are at it, we will be sharing the page around. Also, we do ask if you guys at home could please share up to YouTube, so that way we get more viewers on here tonight. I know these Rev Limit Racing guys would love nothing more than to have you guys out there watching it at home. And it's definitely going to be quite the show tonight, to say the least, considering what our situation is going to be. So please do at home, share around, and let the drivers know you're watching at home. So as we get ready here for tonight, we want to say thank you again to Rev Limit for bringing us on out to watch some more action-packed adventures here. These guys definitely have been showing off a good show, to say the least here. And we definitely would love nothing more than to see another great battle here. Watkins Glen, known for its history and its tar times, and we'll get more into that later on. One thing that Pedal to the Metal Racing League knows all too well is this track was a very good track to run on. For the longest time, it was a very unique track, very stable track when it came to positioning and speed, dominated by the likes of others around here. Some names that we will not mention because, well, they tell me they don't want to pit and they don't want to shift, so I told them, well, then I'm not going to mention your name then there, Swift. Nah, I'm just kidding. You think if we couldn't figure that one out already, who it was, that's not much of a tell. So as we're waiting for the guys right now to get everything situated out, we're currently just sharing it around, getting everybody all into the group. A lot of drivers ready to see some action. A lot of fans out there. I know y'all want to see some action. These guys right now currently are just getting all squared up and ready here, so there won't be too much longer. And I promise you folks, when we get them going, we will get them going. So just do be patient here with us, folks. It will just be another couple minutes or so. We're currently just waiting for the drivers to get situated out and ready. And then once you see that little black screen on the top there, you will know we were ready to go racing. But right now, as we do ask, if you could please bring everybody on in and let's get some fun in here tonight. I'd love to talk with you guys in the chat while also watching on the race here tonight. There's a lot going on here tonight. Alright, the job is done on my end. If you would comment as well, and I will also talk with you. We've got the notification. They have let us know we're going to run tonight. So that is the call. They're running 45 laps here tonight, and they also will be running here on a 50% race length with about a 3-time normal wear. So you got about 45 laps tonight that these drivers will be dealing with. And what does that mean exactly? Well, it means they're going to be dealing with some pretty tough tires. Those tires are going to burn up really hard. They're going to burn up quick, so it's going to be all about patience and perseverance to hold their own and hold their line. The fuel run tonight being 11 laps. Their stage 1 is going to be about a 9-lap ordeal, and then stage 2 is going to be 10 laps. So what does that mean? Well, it means they're pretty much going to get away from troublesome territory there. But going into the final stage, which will either be around 26 or 27, depending on how it goes, that will be the true killer to this one. That will be where the tires will burn up. They'll burn in quick, and then it's going to be a matter of, do we save or do we not? And we're going to find out exactly what their strategy is as we bring it on down to the Glen. Here we go, folks. We're down here. We're heading down to Watkins Glen here in New York, and we're going to bring them in and see what we got in store for these drivers here tonight. All right, we're ready to go here. We're getting them all situated out. We're ready in. We're good. And here we go, folks. Yes, it is Watkins Glen yet again. Road Course Challenge Week. And it's for the Rev Limit Racing, boys. This is going to be some here tonight. Oh, we can't wait for this one here. We can't wait for the action to stir on up. We can't wait to see what the drivers can do. This track, as we mentioned before, it's tough to handle. It's tough to master. But I got a feeling these drivers will get it all situated out. CJ Creaky will be your race leader right off the start. On down around out of turn 1, they'll bring it in. You can see how tight they're having to take it. Oh, some already going out to the outfield. They're already off the track. They have lost momentum there. That's some serious trouble for the 32 of Raw RD 80Y. Unfortunately, he's already got trouble there. Enough said in that number 1 trying to pace himself early. Now, I will say that in the 42 as well, Miller Time having some serious trouble there. He'll get pushed back even further now as they work him on in here. We're just going to say here, they will not be calling for any caution laps in this case. There will be no cautions. They have to run what they've got. And now you got a 3 battle car here for this one as they work them on down out of turn 4, I believe. That's actually turn 6, I think. Working them on down there, down the back straight away they go here. RY85 got company. He's dealing with that 14 up afterward. To the outside, trying to hold off the 3rd spot as he works them on in. You got a battle up front for the lead between CJ Creaky and that is the 17, I believe, of N. Morgan. Yes, N. Morgan right now trying to lead him off. He leads the early pack in the first lap. We've got 8 laps remaining in this one already, but N. Morgan seems to be the stronger of the drivers in this case as he works them on in down that turn there. At turn 1, he'll bring him on into turn 2. And sling it up to turn 3, then the 4 hairpin. They gum on down now. And Morgan's got a sizable distance. He holds them off around as CJ Creaky comes around down in the turn as well. This will be your battle for the lead, but meanwhile, back in the pack here, you can see the battles are starting to wage a little bit more. Pathward has lost some time here. Serious damage up on that car, but it doesn't matter to him. Pathward says, forget that. I can still see him. I'm going to run my tail end off to go get these boys. These drivers absolutely dealing with the harsh reality that is Watkins Glen as they work them on around. Now the 77, they're a little bit, some trouble there for Enough Said. Enough Said, right into the carousel. He gets a nice little lick and a noggin knocker and sent it straight to the wall. Trouble there for him. Whoa, and now the 77 as well having a little bit of troubles there. He gets it back under wraps with the number 1. Now we'll have to do battle here with the number 42 of Miller Time. Here comes the credit 1 Union machine, number Chevrolet 42 of Miller Time. Goes up high, does Enough Said. Contact made there between the 42 and him. But the problem is going to be to Enough Said. He gets the lick and a half out that. The 20 now makes a big move around him. Haybale getting in damage early, and he had serious trouble with momentum there. Lost immediately out of that turn, though. They'll bring him on around and continue on. 7 laps remaining in this one here, folks. And they're all hunting and packing and chasing everyone down here right now. You got a good look at RY85. Trying to hunt down that white car right there. I believe that is Kevin Baker. Yep, Kevin Baker in the 87 right now, working him on in. He's got Wall RD right now to his outside as they work him on in. Cuts the corner a little bit. I don't know if that's going to give him a penalty or not. No, it will not. Whoa, Kevin, hold on, baby. Hold on. Little loose there out of the carousel. He hails it out, though. Nicely done there. Woo! Man, guys, when you're driving these cars, you got to hold on for dear life and at this track because road courses are not easy to master. They're not easy to master, and they're hard to control, and unfortunately right now, as Kevin Baker's still doing battle here, he's trying to give it everything it's worth, but back in the wall. Wow! Contact made there in R-Y! That's going to open up the door to Matt Parkhurst. Matt Parkhurst now in the 77. Working him on down that front straightaway there on the infield. He'll bring him on down around to turn one. Here they go. Slides it right in. You can see how low they're getting here. You're on the cam right here of that Chaston 77 of Matt Parkhurst. He's catching up there with the number 19 of RY85. On back down around that turn. Now they bring him on down here out into the turn. Oh, contact on Mark Parson, spinning around there on the inside. He's out. Not the stage he wanted there, and unfortunately it's going to put him even further back. Oh, watch out. They're going to go into that turn here, going right into troublesome territory as they work him on in. They hold it, though. Haybale having to hold off Wah RD, and Haybale currently, right now, one of the top-tier drivers, is not looking too good here on the road course challenge. He's certainly right now struggling at the rev limit racing at the Glen tonight. These drivers are battling for everything they've gotten, for their heart and their soul, but unfortunately this track is eating away as we reach on to 5 laps to go here in this one. Now Miller Time's got trouble yet again. Here comes Enough Said. They're in the number 1. Battling them on in. They work them on in. Miller Time trying to hold off as Enough Said, and that number 1 now works them on in as well. All drivers maintaining grip, maintaining grasp, trying to fight each other for this one. It seems to be a war of nutrition and a war of who can survive the longest. Tonight, going into the points race, Haybale's got 789 points over the 774 of CJ Creaky. Pat Howard, I should say, has 752. And Morgan with 724, and then 678 to War Daddy. Enough Said on the pecking stool right now. He's trying to get something figured out as they work him on in. So that's actually Pat Howard, I should say, in the 14, not Pathward. I don't know why I've been saying Pathward all this time. I should have read that a little better. But Pat Howard in the 14, right now that Ford Mustang doing some good job in here. Ooh, a little loose there out of that turn. I was doing it earlier. You saw it live here. That turn is not to be messed with. They can be tricky when you least expect it. As they work them on in now down on to turn 1. And I told you earlier, watch how tight they take that turn and how close they'll get to the Turtles. But unfortunately, that little curve there seemed like he was actually the one getting a little loose off of that as he works that Boyer number 14 in. All drivers still trying to hang for what it's worth. Here comes Pat. Here comes Pat in that 77. Matt Parkhurst in that, trying to do some battle here with Enough Said. And then number 1 as they work him on down around the front straightaway here. This will be interesting. Can they hold the turn here on turn 1 and bring him on down? And Matt definitely looks like he's got some serious momentum built up here as he tries to get around him. Enough Said trying to do everything he can to hold him off as they work the inside line now to the outside. Matt tries to get that one line back from him. He wasn't quite able to get it there as he gets into the wall there now on the turn. He brings it on down to the front straightaway they go. Down that turn he goes, trying to get something whipped up, trying to get some momentum built in. But right now, he's definitely holding on for dear lives. They work them on in. Matt Parkhurst doing everything he can, trying to get something to get around Enough Said, but Enough Said, it's like enough of that. I'm hanging on to this one. These two just absolutely going back and forth. We're going to focus in on them a little bit because Enough Said, he needs a point stay here. He's currently battling in the top 4 right now, just trying to make it. And he's running out of time. Some of the other drivers that need some help here is Wolf and Miller Time and Doc as well. They're going to have to figure something out after this race. Look at this now, the outside. Here comes Matt. Matt to the outside there around Enough Said. He slings it on down the front straightaway. The Chaston 77 to the outside, now inside. He holds off Enough Said. He gets the better turn off of that. But Enough Said definitely holding his own. Got some serious momentum built back up. Worked them on back down around out of turn 2 to turn 3. Back into the hairpins of turn 4 they go. Slinging them on down. Now they'll head down that back stretch alley there and they'll swing them on in to the carousel. Working them on in. They still hold their own, still maintaining their lines. We focus in on some other drivers. Haybell's in the pits already, trying to get some damage fixed up, looks like. Meanwhile, Kevin Baker trying to hold off RY85 as they work them on down to here. After the boot, they'll head down to the straights. Inside line now, RY85 doing everything he can to hold on. They'll try to get it down out of turn 12 there, I believe. Then out of turn to the right. There comes Kevin Baker now, trying to go side by side there with RY, but RY able to hold off here just a little bit longer. Bring him on down the front straightaway here. We're running out of laps, running out of time here for these drivers. They've got to start figuring this out. They've got to start figuring out what they want to do here. RY right now is doing a great job holding his own, but he's definitely not out of the woods yet. And Morgan right now in that 17 still trying to get up there with CJ Creaky. Creaky right now doing a great job holding his own away from one another. Actually, there is CJ Creaky right there. He's going to try to get around that Toyota Camry machine as he works them on in here. And Morgan, you get a glimpse of him here as well. This is where he's at right now. He's got some company right behind him. There goes the number 14 of Pat Howard. Pat Howard coming right in on him, and now work him on down the front straight away. To the turn he goes. And Morgan down low says, let's see where this one goes. As he brings them on in now. Oh, Matt Parkhurst is caught up in a little bit of a troublesome territory there. He's got to get out of the way here. He's got cars coming his way. Here comes N. Morgan and CJ Creaky, as well as that 14 of Pat Howard as they bring him on down around that turn. They're down to the stretch. To the stretch they go. They'll bring him on in. I want you to hear how hard he has to get off that gas. You hear how hard he's braking and how hard he is just getting off there, just trying to make it work. And then watch him take around this carousel. Watch him go from the carousel down into the outer boot to the inner boot as they work him on in. Throws the haymaker down straight to the bottom and brings it right back in. And now he's going to get some serious momentum built up here. He's going to try to get up there with the 77 Matt Parkhurst. Whoa! Parkhurst didn't get some connection there. Trying to pull a maneuver on the outside there. That didn't quite work as well. Parkhurst now opens the door for Ed Morgan. Now Ed Morgan's going to have trouble. Pat Howard's going to the out, going inside as well. He's battling him on in. These drivers not giving an inch here. No one's giving an inch, but stage one's over with for these drivers. Holy smokes, that was a serious compilation of battling in troublesome territory there for these drivers here. As they bring him on around, we're still finishing him out here. Haybell's just trying to get some time back. He lost a lap already. We'll see if that comes back to haunt him here later. But right now, as they get them all situated out, we'll see how it all plays out here for these drivers. Right now in the comments, Rod Christensen saying serious road race with some damage to the cars. You are right, sir. Serious trouble immediately for these guys. And definitely you can see this track is not taking too kindly to them. As stage one now comes to an end, 10 laps, and stage two is coming up. Before we do that, let's give you a little track tech talk here. I showed you earlier about how it feels on this track. There are 11 turns in total on the track, I should say. So we've already mentioned some of those parts. You got the hairpin, you got the carousel, then you got the boot. And in all honesty, I'd say the hardest turn here is probably, honestly, if it's anything, it's the turn after turn 4. You go down that stretch and then you head into the carousel. I believe it's what it's referred to as. And that's where trouble can get you into. As they work him on in, Haybell will be your race leader here. He's currently the points leader. Not by much, so he's got to hold out that bad boy right there, CJ Creaky, as they bring him on around. On around out of turn 1 they go here now. Haybell did a lot cleaner of a lap that time by. Nicely done from the drivers there as Haybell tries to hold off CJ Creaky. Creaky now to the outside there, works him on in. Haybell trying to get something going here, trying to stay ahead of Creaky, but you can see the momentum. He's carrying two Toyotas back and forth with one another. They're going to try to work that draft in on now. Haybell sees him. He's trying to pull a maneuver. Here comes Creaky. Oh, Creaky went into the infield, though. He opened up his own lawn care service, and that gave him serious time for Pat Howard to make a move. Oh, Pat Howard now making a big maneuver there out of that turn, and now down to the boot. They go down the front straight. Now they go down the back straightaway here to that elongated stretch. They're coming into your living room. Coming down now. This is going to be turn 10. Now to turn 11 they go. They'll bring him on around. Here they are. CJ Creaky is still in it, but he lost some serious momentum, and Ed Morgan Yet again, is going to be right behind him, though. The drivers this time got a full clean lap in before trouble started. That's good driving on their end here. As they work them on around, Creaky still opening up his own lawn care service. He just continues to dive into that grass area. Ah, trouble there out of turn. The turn one stretch. Wolf is in the wall. So is Miller Time 42. The 42 of Miller Time is also in the wall. That cost him some serious momentum. Meanwhile, back up front, here we go. Pat Howard now trying to get a serious draft, working him on in. He works him on down out of that turn there, out of turn 5, 6. Now he brings him on in. He gets around the carousel. On down around the boot. They go straight to the stretch. Now we're going to call it the boot stretch in this case as he works them on in. He stretches it on out. Does hay bale in the 20. Now Pat Howard's going to get something figured out here as he works them on down around that turn. Beautiful turn from both drivers here holding their own. Haybale playing the smart strategy. He decided to opt into pit road before the caution came out, and that was genius strategy on his end. So he was able to get everything situated out for that next stage, and that definitely is seeming to be his favorite here. His maneuver here as they work him on around. There are no cautions in this race. They will not call caution even if you get into troublesome. And speaking of troublesome, here comes in Morgan. Yet again, now works him on around, but CJ Creaky defends his line. Easily done there. Nicely job done there from the Toyota Camry of CJ Creaky. That hot rod rowdy machine holding his own, holding his stabilized position. And Morgan's now going to try to get him here. On around the carousel they go. They'll bring him on in and down out. They'll go here to the boot. Down to the boot stretch they go. They'll bring him on in here. And then Morgan now trying to get his momentum back. He's going to swing it way wide out there. You don't want to necessarily do that too often. You lose a lot of momentum if you don't get it just right. And that definitely seems to show because Creaky managed to get it just enough of it right. But Morgan is just trying to get a draft and a little bit of help from those turning here. It's all about cornering here. Those drafts are only good on the stretches. When you're running this track or you're running Road America, you need to learn how to get the stretches just right. And these turns will definitely hit you for a loop as they bring him on back down out of turn 1 here. Meanwhile, right now, Matt Parkhurst right now doing battle here with enough said. And that number 1 yet again, the gear wrench number 1. Trying to hold off that old 77 of Parkhurst. On around, here we go. Outside, play him in. Here comes Parkhurst. Matt Parkhurst makes a beautiful pass there out of turn 2. Now to turn 3 into 4. We're usually not used to saying that on a track like this, but in this case, you know, there's more than 4 turns, so you gotta say it like that. As Matt Parkhurst now comes on around, he'll bring him on into the carousel, then to the boot. They bring him on in here, out and down around, slide him in, down. Here comes that 180 stretch of degree turn. To the boot they go, you know, here they come. Parkhurst has a serious full distance over enough set. Meanwhile, back in the pack here, Kevin Baker in the 87, trying to get something going in here as well. The 2 Toyota Camrys, the 19 there of RY85 doing battle here as they work them on down the stretch. We continue on. Kevin Baker now looking to try to get the Hooters. 87 now into contention. RY a little loose there out of that turn, out of 10, down to 11. Baker trying to hold his own here. Maybe trying to open up his own shop because right now he's looking like a true Baker out there, whipping up some serious cooking because he is looking like he's got some hot tires coming out of the oven there. But right now as he works them on in, he's still trying to get up there with that 19 machine. Meanwhile, look out here we go, battle for the lead. Pat Howard, big maneuver on the round down the stretch. Haybale had nowhere to go and Pat Howard made him pay. Holy smokes, out of the carousel of the boot. Haybale is going wide, high line, not where you want to be. Brings it straight down, trying to get momentum built off that. Meanwhile, CJ Creaky trying to get something farther out. He tried to go outside a little longer to try to get a slingshot maneuver effect to get the momentum to build here. Now he's going to try to bring it back in the inside here. Now he brings him on around here. Here comes Haybale, straight to the left. To the outside and down that stretch. You've got a new leader. It's Pat Howard in the number 14 machine. Holy smokes, what a maneuver and what a change. That had to be. Haybale was not expecting that one here, folks. Meanwhile, the 51 of CJ Creaky trying to hang with him. And Morgan now as well. He's also getting some momentum built up. I think he's backing off a little bit, trying to save up. The one thing we want to mention here is these tires burn up quick. I'll tell you that right now. You burn them in too hard, you burn them up too much, they'll get you loose, they'll get you for a ride. And right now, that's exactly what you're seeing here. And Morgan is currently, in my opinion, playing the smarter route while the three of them trying to hunt each other down like a bunch of hunting dogs out here. On around down that carousel. Here they go. CJ Creaky now trying to get some momentum. Haybale still opening the door up a little bit. You're on board here with CJ as they work them on in. Straight down to the bottom he goes. He opens the door up. Haybale opens it big time up. Haybale opened a big door up. And the 51, like the thief he is, he snuck in. Holy smokes, that was a serious pass maneuver there, folks. You can't time that any better. What a maneuver there by Mr. Creaky himself. He brings him on down around out of turn one. Yet again opens up his own lawn care service into the grass there. Oh, that might have got him that time too many times. A little bit loose out of there. He sets it back up. He's situated out. We're running low on laps here, folks. This is now down to 3 to go here. And Morgan has got up here. Haybale lost all his momentum and time here. Now in Morgan is going to try to get something figured out here. Can he do the same maneuver CJ Creaky did to Haybale a minute ago? Whoa, it's not going to happen there yet. And Morgan now holding his own here. These guys giving it everything they can and doing all that's for its worth. These guys not giving an inch. Oh, CJ Creaky into the wall. He spun out. The second place right now in the points race has spun out. And now you got a new second place driver in Morgan. And Morgan definitely needs a good point stand. He needs to stay in the points race if he wants to go to the playoffs. We're only a few weeks away. I believe we're 4 weeks away from the championship. And right now, playoffs picture is starting to cut down a bit. That driver right there in Morgan is going to give it everything it's worth here. Meanwhile, now here comes Matt Parkhurst. Matt Parkhurst now in that 77 going to do it in here as they work him on in. CJ Creaky doing everything he can to hold off here, trying to get something figured out. But these guys are definitely not giving an inch here between one another as they bring them on around here. We've only got about 2 laps left in stage 2 here as CJ Creaky serious damage up on that Hot Rod Rowdy Toyota Camry machine. But he's going to get around Miller time. 42. Miller opens up the door. Creaky closing it back up. Oh! The 77 takes a lick and a half. It takes him for a ride and a half. Holy smokes. I'm not sure if that was just over speeding or it was just bad braking on Creaky, but my goodness, folks, that was not what you wanted to see if you're in the Creaky camp. Meanwhile, Pat Howard, he's just running away with this one. He just continues on getting some serious momentum built up here as they work him on in. Not giving any inches here, not giving any momentum. And now as he brings him on around, 1 lap to go here for Mr. Howard. As they bring him on around down at turn 1, he's got a sizable distance over in Morgan as they continue this one in. These guys not giving an inch here as they work them on. Pat Howard, well, he was in the top 5 for the last stage. Now looks like he's going to whip up a win in this one. But he's still got to finish the race and get the laps in. He's still got the final stage to go through. And that can be the difference between a win and a loss. Oh, RY85, he's loose there out of turn 1. He saves it. Nice save there by him. And meanwhile, Haybale, currently, I think he's just trying to figure out what happened this stage. He had everything figured out, he thought, and I think he just burned him up a little too much. Meanwhile, Kevin Baker's still opening up his own donut shop because currently he's got some hot wheels in there. Those circular things are definitely burning up quite a bit. And he's really starting to show, but he's still maintaining rhythm and starting to maintain him up with position as he works him on around out of the 842 there. Miller time now gives him the opening, and that gives him what he needs it. And Pat Howard will take home that stage 2 victory. Meanwhile, right behind him will be in Morgan. Then it will be the 77 of Parkhurst. Parkhurst, then Creaky. And then I believe it will be... Trying to see if we can get a glimpse here. I think that's RD. I believe he will take home that one as well. So that's your top 5. And as we get ready to get on with our final stage. This one's going to be a doozy here, folks. Get ready for this one. 27 laps total. I believe it'll be a 26 lap race. Now, I mentioned earlier with that track tech talk, I was saying personal feel is the track is definitely the fastest of all road courses. However, it requires very precise skill throughout each turn. It's all about cornering here, but it's also about tempo and control. And it takes one little bobble to send it off and have it be game over. But how about a little fun fact here for you on PTM Racing TV? One of our favorite things to do. A little fun fact, did you know Watkins Glen was the northern terminus of the Shenyang Canal, started in 1830 and completed in 1833, connecting Seneca Lake to Shenyang River. Catherine Clark Creek flowing into the lake through the village was used to help create the canal. Well, right now the only canal CJ Creaky is thinking is how to get around all these cars. Oh! And then Morgan already in the N17 now loses a lot of momentum off that first corner. That's not what he wanted to do, but the good news is he can figure that out back with the pit stop. He can figure out how to work that back in from the pit stops there as they work them on in here. You got a whole murderer's row still battling out here. Wow! Contact made there in the backstretch. Serious momentum killer and boost there. That was some serious tank time. Wow! Miller time now sneaking it right past Parkhurst. These guys absolutely digging in, and enough said. Trouble there. Work them on in. Pillar time is all over the place here, folks. The road course is definitely starting to show its way and starting to really show these drivers are having a lot of hard times figuring out what to do here. But right now, as they work them on in, Pat Howard makes a big maneuver there, runs that way wide, opened the door up, but that wasn't enough for Creaky to get around him. Creaky will try to get the momentum built back up as he works them on down the front straightaway here. Meanwhile, right in front of everybody, Haybill is in pit road. He's got nowhere to go. And I can tell you right now, you don't want to be that area right now. Here comes the inside, or I should say the left. There goes Creaky. Slings it right in the inside line. Now he's got to try to hold off that 14 of Pat Howard as you work them on in here, folks. I was talking about the canal earlier. I think they found a way to let the river stream flow because Creaky just opened up a creek and a half. And he let the water flow into his creek and into his favor as they worked them on in. That 14 of Pat Howard still trying to get them around the outside. They're out of the boot. Here they come down out of the boot here. And the 14 still not able to get the momentum built up. Not able to get time going here. Time elapsing. Whoa! Wardy in the wall. Fun around. And into Wolf he went. Wolf's going to have damage. So is RYRD. That boy's not going to be doing too well for a while now. Enough said, though. I got told from me earlier, he said he's had enough of me calling him back in the pack. He wants to take the lead yet again. Well, he got work to do there, bud. I'm just going to say that right now. Because you're all chasing down that man right there. The Hot Rod Rowdy 51 Toyota Camry of CJ Creaky. Creaky still doing everything he can here to hold on and get some momentum built up. Pat Howard in that number 14 machine works them on in as they bring them on down the turn here. Neither driver's giving an inch here. Neither driver giving anything they can here. We got some viewers in the house. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in. Appreciate you coming on in here. As Ed Morgan still trying to duke it out here, trying to hold his own here. Work them on down out of the boots. They go to the stretch as well out of there, and they'll swing him on in. Ed Morgan, he was your second place runner when they were running there on stage 2, and now he had a tough break out at stage 3, the final stage I should say, when he went around down out of turn 1 there, took a lick and a half. Currently right now, as these drivers try to work that 50% link 3 time wear in, you can definitely see how much momentum is lost there on Ed Morgan because of that aerodynamic damage on the machine. Currently RY85 and is currently still trying to hang with him, trying to get with him here. And Ed Morgan actually, he's made his way back up into the 4th slot, surprisingly. That just shows you the level of dedication and driving maneuverability that he has on this track here. He's really starting to showcase what he can do here with these drivers as they work them on around now. Parkhurst is still going to try to hold his own, try to keep something built up here. The 14 of Pat Howard, though, is just trying to get the Mobile 1. Number 14 back in there with Creaky. He went through the infield and opened up his own lawn care service, but they will not call a penalty on that one. They are saying he was not totally out of bounds. He's okay. Currently, as we work them on in, I gotta believe those lap counters are getting less and less. They gotta be in between 10 to 8 laps in total left in the fuel run. That's gonna really play a difference for these drivers as they work them on around down out of turn 11 here. How often we say that of all things for these NASCAR Cup cars, but that is the case as they work them on in. RD and the 42 of Miller Time have called it a night, it seems. They have put it in pit road, and right now as they work them on down around that turn here, down in the turn 2 they go. And Morgan will try to get something built up here and get some momentum back. Got a good on board here of how bad that damage is on that front end here. That's not good for him here. He's going to try to hold his own, try to get something going there on the stretch here. Bringing him on around. Will he try to make a pass there? Parkhurst making a beautiful turn there, but I got to believe in Morgan made an even better turn. Nice driving on him. Parkhurst opens the door up now. Look at this. Work him on in. To the right goes in Morgan now. To the left went Parkhurst. Parkhurst is starting to lose serious time and ground. Getting looser and looser off those turns. And that's one thing you can't do here is lose momentum off the corners. And road courses, it's all about cornering. It's all about maintaining grip and momentum. If you can't get that figured out, don't even bother showing up. This isn't a long stretch road. This isn't a long stretch turn. It's all about trying to hit your marks and hit your spot. Meanwhile, right now, Pat Howard seeing a big opening given there to Parkhurst there as they work him on it. Oh! Trouble for Ed Morgan at Parkhurst. Parkhurst loses it there, but he gets the better of it. And Morgan not able to get out of his slump there and loses a lot of time. He's going to try to catch back up here, but now Pat Howard and Parkhurst are just going to get further and further away. And let me tell you something, folks. Parkhurst right now needs a field day and a half. A win here at the Glen, of all things, would give him serious momentum and serious boost in points. I'm telling you, he's got to hold on, though. He's got to try to get something figured out, because right now, as he works them on in now, they come on in. Parkhurst, at the moment, he's currently in the back of the pack right now. He's currently further down in the field where he is right now, I believe. Trying to see where he's at. In the moment, we're seeing that he is currently in the middle of the pack on the lower end of the spectrum. He's in danger of being cut from the playoffs picture if he doesn't figure out how to get a good race in here tonight. And he's definitely showing it here, though. Nonetheless, really still maintaining his position and keeping his own momentum alive and well here. Meanwhile, Pat Howard currently, I think he's just trying to figure out a way to get around that 77 of Parkhurst yet again, because CJ Creaky's just further and further away. But I gotta believe tire saving and gas saving is the reason why they're backing off so much. They bring him on around down out of that turn. Here they go to the carousel, down to the boot. Pat Howard now works the outside, I would say the inside line there to the right. He works them on in, he'll bring it down to the left yet again. You can see where Creaky's at right now. He's not too far ahead, but on a road course, that's not meaning much. One mistake, one bobble, guess what? Someone's right back on your tail. Whereas you could probably bobble a little bit when you're in the straight and you're on those stretches or on the turns, and it won't cost you as much. Whereas road courses, no, if they corner it just right, they're going to get you before you know it. And that's definitely seeming to be the case here. Meanwhile, enough said, now doing battle here with RY. You want to talk about two drivers that need a playoffs picture race? I'd say it's these two right here, but RY has not been cleared to get into the top spot. He needs to get, or excuse me, he's not been cleared to get into the playoffs picture coming in the next weeks, because he's in the bubble right now. He's in trouble. He's got to figure out how to hold on and stay to the momentum. Now enough said, bringing him on around there now. Kevin Baker as well at turn one right into the wall. He went for a ride and a half there, that's for sure. Meanwhile, enough said, just trying to hold off RY as he gets some momentum built up out of turn 3 and the 4 here on the hairpins. Watch this right here. I want you to listen. You see them hit that white line. That's when they back off on their throttle. They're already on the brakes. They're flooring it through. There's two ways to do it. And that's soft and easy after you get around that, or it's hard through and hard off. That's the only way to really make this track work. Right now, Parkhurst now getting back in it with Creaky. Oh! Parkhurst though overdrove it, and it cost him this time. He has spun out on the front stretch. He's back under wraps and working them on in, but right now, oh, wow, and Wolf now as well in troublesome territory. He's getting it figured out, though, got it situated out, but meanwhile, CJ Creaky is catching up with the guys that have slowed down a bit. Parker was doing everything he can to hold on there and try to get around Creaky, but Parker's unfortunately falling victim to the usual troublesome territory that is known as the front stretch and turn 11's turn there. That turn will send you for a loop and it'll send you for a bite. And not a good bite. See, now here comes now. Here the 14 up Pat Howard as he works them on in. Pat Howard giving it everything he can, trying to get something going here, just trying desperately to figure this one out. We're going on board here with him. You can hear how hard he's braking and how hard he's cornering, and that's really what it's all about. Ah! And Pat Howard as well goes into the wall. This track is eating drivers up. It's killing them off left and right, and I gotta believe the tires are gone. We gotta believe that these guys are just dealing with everything they can. Creaky. Right now, Creaky seems to have the upper hand and the advantage. Meanwhile, we're about 16 laps out of this one. Not a lot of time left for these drivers and not a lot to give for anybody out here, but Creaky seems to be the better of the drivers on this case. Wolf has also put it down in there, but he's currently trying to get it back out. You can see how far he is right now there. We're talking about Creaky. Pat Howard, he had some momentum built up. He got it out of turn 3, and unfortunately, he took it right into the wall there. Or, excuse me, turn 10. Put it right into the wall, and unfortunately, around here, you don't want to do that. As Wolf brings it out around the pits, he's definitely got a splash of gas and a few tires added on there, a few good years, if you will. As a good Lord of Speed in his speech for his racing Bible, he said, and it ain't so in the verse of Eric Chronicles, verses 8. When in doubt, if I need the right tire, I always go to Goodyear because I trust in the power of speed to bring me another year of hardcore racing at its finest. And right now, these guys are definitely showing it here as they work them on around out of turn 1 into turn 2 here. Slingshot straight to the left, straight to the right, turn 3 and the 4. There's the hairpin, and CJ Creaky is just absolutely making this track look stupid easy right now. Not a lot of action going on in Morgan. Still serious damage up on that car. He had nothing he can do about that. And unfortunately, it's definitely costing him right now as they continue to work him on in. Your points leader right now, the 20 of Haybale. Haybale, unfortunately, right now is in trouble with this track, but he's not in trouble with the points. But Creaky definitely after this one, and if he can get a good position over Haybale, I gotta believe that's going to eke into the mind of Haybale a little bit, because it's going to give him the points lead. And it's definitely right now showing between these drivers and how they're working them on in. Pat Howard doing everything he can, trying to stick with it. Enough said as well. On the hunt, on the attack. CJ Creaky has finally gone into pit road here. I'll give some of the other drivers a chance here to get back into this one. As they continue them on in, we get a look at N. Morgan. He's currently on his own, but while we're at it, folks, we'll give you a little bit of another trivia thing here for you. Well, how about this one for you? Did you know that New York's history actually began around 10,000 BC when the first people arrived? It was by 1100 AD. Two main cultures had become the dominant as the Iroquoian and Algonquian developed. Europeans' discovery of New York was led by the Italian Giovanni da Verrazzano in 1524, followed by the first land claim in 1609 by the Dutch. But it was in 10,000 BC that New York actually was actually created, if you will, from those continental drift and everything that actually now became what we know today. So it all started, well, before any of us can even think about what the heck to do with racing. Much less that we're ever going to have motor cars, but nonetheless, right now that seems to be the case because we're still running it, ain't we? So let's get back to the pack here as they work them on in RY85 and the number 1, enough said, now gone into pit road, as well as Pat Howard. Wolf staying out there currently. We've currently only got about 14 laps left in this one here. These drivers giving it everything they can, trying to get something figured out. Creaky is still your race leader, I believe. No, actually, right now, your race leader is that 14 of Pat Howard, who's currently in pit side right now, but I gotta believe he's gonna get passed up here in a minute. As they work him on in here, you can still see Creaky's giving everything he can now, building off that momentum as he works them on in here. He brings it on down, around, down to turn 1 he goes. Sling right down, straight to the right, straight to the turn, and that's where you go. The action not quite going too far right now because we're kind of losing on momentum and losing drivers here as they go. But there will be another pit stop here for some of these guys because they're running low on tires and gas yet again. And reminder, there is no cautions here. None whatsoever. We will not have a caution on this race because that is basically going to keep it clean. And Kevin Baker is right into the wall there. Kevin, unfortunately, falling victim to the track. Yet again, Watkins Glen is not being too friendly to him. He's all over the place right now. And that is seriously going to cost his momentum and run here. As CJ Creaky is yet again taking the lead from that driver right there, Pat Howard. Hard to tell where Creaky went here. Pat Howard, man, he's just opening up his own infields, man. He's just opened up a lawn care service and a half tonight. Somebody's going to be paying that man for a while. There's CJ Creaky as he works him on in here. He is currently the race leader, and right now he's a good chunk and a half away from everybody else here. He is just absolutely taking care of business. Work them on in here, around, down, out of turn 1. Whoa! He puts it up on 2 wheels. I'm surprised he saved that one. Holy smokes. Talk about a save and a half there, folks. He just saved that one before he could lose it. 10 laps remaining on his end here. And he's not too far out of this one here. He's currently got a good position and a good car going for him. We'll see how long that plays out for him here as they work to continue them on in here. We've got 6 viewers in the house now. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning on in. I didn't mean to say that, but it's good to have all the viewers at home there. We do appreciate it, guys. It's been a while since we've seen some good action on here in the NASCAR Heat Series, and right now as they're still continuing them on in here in a battle, Enough Said is doing everything he can here, trying to stick with it as they work them on down out of turn 2 to turn 3, down to hairpin at turn 4. As you can see Kevin Baker slowing up a little bit and opening the door up there for these drivers as they continue them on here. Baker giving the inside line away, that outside as well, if you will, there for Enough Said. Enough Said was trying to get something going there. He didn't quite get it there, but unfortunately for Enough Said, he wasn't able to get the momentum either because Kevin Baker's currently just holding his own here as they work him on down that stretch here. Bring him on out at turn 9. Now they'll get him in to turn 10. Can Baker hold off Enough Said here as he works them on in around down that turn? Good turn there from Baker. Now to turn 11. This is where it seems to get everybody here as they work him on around. Enough Said doing everything he can here to get around Baker. Not going to get him on this lap. But there's only about 8 laps. There's going to be 9 laps remaining in this one now. Not a lot of time left. Meanwhile, back in the pack here, you got yourself a serious battle going on between Pat Howard and In Morgan. In Morgan right now trying to get that 3rd spot away there from Pat. He's successful in the turn, but Pat not taking that too kindly. Whoa! In Morgan now gets serious with him. Opens up his own lawn care service and into the infield. In Morgan was not called for a penalty there because Pat, well, let's be honest, Pat gave him a little nudge and a budge there, buddy. That was not what the nudge I think he was going to expect, though. Now here comes In Morgan at 17. Pat has to back off quite a bit here to set the turn up. And In Morgan, he already had a good turn lined up. He got set beautifully done there. Now down out of turn 11 here. Pat Howard's got some time to make up because In Morgan just made a serious pass around there. You've got a 3rd runner here as they work him on down that front stretch here, folks. 8 laps remain now. Pat Howard doing everything he can. Holy smokes, it's just been crazier and crazier each time these guys go at it here. Meanwhile, Enough Said has actually made a pass around Kevin Baker. Meanwhile, the Wolf is right behind him as well. The 11 of Wolf is still in the hunt here as they bring him on around to the right. There goes Kevin Baker. Kevin takes a big swing and a hit, and around Enough Said. Enough Said didn't quite get the time he wanted there and the run he wanted. And that definitely opened the door up for Kevin Baker to get around him there and make his maneuver around as they work him on down out of turn 4 to the stretch. They'll bring him on in down to the pit. I believe it's called the pit stop or the carousel. I can't remember the names, but as they bring him on in here, they'll bring him down into the carousel to the boot. The outside boot to the end of the boot. They bring him on from the toe to the boot heel. There they go. Down that stretch. Here they go. Enough said, trying to hang with him here. Trying to hang with Kevin Baker here. But you can definitely see time running out there. And the fuel is starting to become a factor for some of these drivers. This could be interesting seeing down the road here. As we work them on in here. Enough said, doing everything he can to get up there with Kevin Baker, but Baker currently in the hunt, and like a dog on the hunt, you know he's looking for the pack. And Baker is still trying to get up there with these drivers. Well, meanwhile, he's in the shop opening up some hot wheels because he has burned them up with how much he is running that Toyota Camry 87 machine in here tonight. But enough said, now works the right side there. Big smart maneuver right there by the number one. That's some serious timing there and aggression there from enough said. He makes a big move when he needed it most, and it gave him the run and gave him an advantage there. Meanwhile, we're still under green here. Of course, we will not have a caution whatsoever for these drivers. These guys got to work with what they've got and what they got to deal with. And enough said, still not had enough here with those 87 of Kevin Baker as they work them on in here. You got a real good line here as they work them on down to the right to the turn 10. Woo! And enough said, literally getting the cock block, if you will, there from the 87 of Kevin Baker. And enough said, now doing everything he can to work his way on down. Meanwhile, back on around, here you go. The 11 there of Wolf trying to get in there as well with that 20 of Haybale. As Haybale currently in the points race and still dealing with it. And holy smokes, these guys just cannot get it going there and figure it out. But it's definitely showing here for some of these drivers as they work them on in. Enough said, still in that hunt to get around Kevin Baker. Right now, I think CJ Creaky, he's just on cruise control as we're down to only about 6 laps left in this one. Actually, I think it'll be about 5 laps now for CJ Creaky at the moment anyway. What a race he has had here tonight, and what a battle he's been pulling off. It's been crazy to think he's been able to get so much, but it's true, it's true. Yep, there is only 5 laps remaining in this one here. Creaky currently is your race leader, and he is just holding on and maintaining it for all it's worth. There is not a lot of time left, and Nin Morgan definitely knows it, and so does Haybale, and as well as Pat Howard. These guys need to get something figured out, and pronto. Time is of the essence. Matt Parkhurst, man, was he giving Creaky a battle earlier. He was in the hunt, and he was still battling for it, but unfortunately, he overdrove it out of turn 11, and that cost him big time there. Meanwhile, Haybale and that 20 machine still working him in. Yeah, it is your points leader for the Rev Limit Racing boys. They are been at odds with each other for quite a while. Has CJ Creaky and Haybale, and it's definitely shown here tonight because Haybale does not seem to like the road course challenge week, but he's still in the hunt here as he works them on in. Enough said is in his sights. Down to the turn they go. Backs off a little bit. He's going to try to get some more positions made up here. Down to the left, he goes to the inside there. He makes that pass around the outside, if you will. Making a big maneuver there around the number one of Enough Said now. Trying to get something going here, trying to figure this one out as they work them on in. There's not a lot of time left here between these drivers, and they are definitely losing time as they continue to work everything on in. Whoa! RY85 going in. Serious collision. Whoa, watch out, watch out. Pat Howard, if I'm him right now, I'm thinking, where did he come from? That's a scary sight to say the least when you see him coming in your living room like that, out of all things. Enough said, has spun it on around. He's actually going into pit road now, trying to get one last thing of gas and fuel. And that might be smart because right now CJ Creaky is still a good chunk in ahead right now. This one with only 3 laps remaining once he gets around here. We're going to take an on-board look here and just show you what is making Creaky so dang tough to even beat tonight. It's really 3 parts, and that's corner, and oh yeah, corner. Okay, in all seriousness, it's actually he's really timing the brakes here. You watch him out of turn 1. He's watching for those signs there. He looked for that 200 sign, then he got off the gas quick, brakes in hard. You can hear him actually let off the gas there. Watch him hear this. Lets off gas there and back on the gas, try to center the car up. Now he centers the car here. He focuses on those turns there of the corners. And once he gets right about 200 and a half, I'd say 150, right where that white line is, you hear him get off the gas. He builds the momentum, gets on the brakes, and then he all of a sudden will let it rip out of that corner. It's all about soft in, soft out. You don't want those tires to spin on road courses because that's where the bobbles can come into play. And right now you see CJ Creaky, how hard he's hitting those turns and how he's hitting his corners. And he brings him on down the stretch here. Watch this. Out of turn 10, he'll kind of cut it in the grass a little bit, set the car up. Now brings him on down around to turn 11. He's going to hit the corner yet again and straighten it, almost like a straight bow and arrow shot to that other top there. Usually you see them get up to the wall, and that's what's making him so dang tough to even beat. As now 2 laps remain in this one, and CJ Creaky has looked like he's all but wrapped this one up, barring any disasters, if you will. We've seen crazier things here on PTM Racing TV before, but right now CJ Creaky does not seem to be one of those guys to do something crazy when you least expect it. I think he just wants to finish this one off, call it a night, and drink some beers with his family and friends, because right now he is just getting this one worked in and done right. It has been an absolute clinic of tough driving and tough maneuverability from all ends of the spectrum, as Pat Howard just tries desperately to get something figured out here for this last bit. No one really is at battle with each other. No one really is at odds, because everybody's just been passed around and chased after. And CJ Creaky is currently just going to be able to take home this one here and win it all. We get a good look at where he's at the moment. He's coming down out of turn 10 into 11. He's got one more lap to complete, and it's game over. We're going to focus in on him as he has pretty much sealed this one up. That Hot Rod Rowdy number 51 has taken over the Glen. He is going to be your champion, barring any bad moves or disasters. I don't think it's going to happen here. As he continues to work him on in here and finish him out, he brings him on down around out of turn 1 to 2, then to 3 here. Now he's in 4 to the stretch he goes, then to 5, 6, 7, and then 8, then 9 and 10, and then 11. And he'll get him on in one more time. Through the carousel he goes, down in there, the bus stop, if you will, and then brings him on to the carousel, down from the toe to the heel to the boot. He brings him on around. Nice, tight turn. What a maneuver and what a race it has been for CJ Creaky. If you want to know why at home, why he's the dominant one here tonight, and maybe why he just now will take over the points, this is why. What a tremendous race for that driver right there. The Hot Rod Rowdy number 851 is going to be your rev limit at the Glen Racing victor here tonight. Meanwhile, Morgan's still on the hunt, trying to finish this one out. Currently, the second closest is Pat Howard. He's currently just getting around out of turn 10, now to 11 here. And this is definitely seeming to be the end for these drivers. Pat Howard will bring him on down to the front stretch. And I gotta believe he's just going to be a little upset that he just did not pit when he was needing to, and he did not fix that damage up when he could have. But I gotta believe he didn't have time to do either or. And that definitely seemed to be the case here tonight, as then Morgan as well brings him on around here. Give you guys an idea of who finished where and who finished what here tonight. And Morgan finally bringing it on around here. Top finishers here tonight. CJ Creaky taking the victory. Pat Howard with a second place finish. And then Matt Parker is getting a third place. First time we've seen him in the podium. Fourth goes to Haybale. Fifth in Morgan. Enough said, getting that sixth spot. Seventh will go to RY85. Kevin Baker getting the eighth slot. The ninth place will go to Wolf, and 10th will round out your field with Miller Time in the 42. Unfortunately, unable to finish the race due to mechanical failures, and I also got to believe a little bit of tempers boiling up because of how hard it is to master this very, very tough track. But nonetheless, what a race it was here tonight. Great battles from everybody here tonight. it definitely showed out here, and it definitely was a good all-around contemplation of tough racing and tough cornering on all ends of the spectrum. And you got to give credit where credit is due to these Rev Limit Racing guys. They gave it everything they had and then some, just trying to finish this one out and get a win in here. And it is all over with tonight for these Rev Limits. Well, everybody, you know what time it is. It's that sad time of the day. It's that sad time where I hate saying it, but we got to call it quits somewhere. But ladies and gentlemen, mark my words and make no bones about it. Tomorrow night, we've got something special whipped up for you. We are bringing you a showcase, a special exhibition of the on the Facebook chat. And it's going to be one of the unique drivers out there. It's going to be the Eastern North America Cup League Series, as we have been honored and will be presenting the Eastern North American Cup Series for one little special race. And these drivers are looking for quite the run and quite the rhythm here. They'll be tackling Daytona for our 60 laps. And boy, oh boy, will it be something there. And you can find that all over on Facebook at PTM Racing TV. But also be sure to like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube. Give some love out to those boys over in Rev Limit Racing. That was some serious stuff, good racing there on their end for what they had to work with and what they had to deal with. And it really showed here tonight. So from all of us here at PTM Racing TV, again, thank you to everybody that tuned in. And thank you again for allowing me to come on in and show you guys what these guys are all about. We always appreciate you guys at home. Thanks everyone that tuned in. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, guys. PTM Racing on Facebook. We got ourselves another iRacing broadcast coming, special exhibition. So for now, though, be safe. God bless. Take care. Sayonara. Hasta la vista. Farewell, my lovelies. Good night, everybody.